I know that the platforms have their own community standards. So my question is actually directed to DICT. Have you reviewed their community standards, and do you find them sufficient? In other words, where am I going with this? If they are sufficient, but it's just a matter of honestly and strictly enforcing it, right? Then that solves a problem. But if you feel that it's inadequate, then it has to be beefed up. Because where I'm going with this is another angle is in terms of obligations of platforms, like obligating them to actually enforce their community standards is another angle. Instead of having external policies, or we could have policies that mirror their community standards and just have them make sure they enforce it. Of course, as I say this, I know at some point there's going to be disagreement, and then we're talking about representative office. The next question is, can they accept summons? Okay, but I'm not going to go there for now. But going back, have you reviewed their community standards, and are they adequate, or do you feel that it's a failure to actually apply the community standards to take out fake news?
Mr. Chair, yes, on an executive level, we have reviewed their community standards, and to be honest, if they would be sufficient or not, there would be nuances in the Philippine setting because their community standards medyo regional po eh. So there are nuances, for example, like a growing democracy like the Philippines. The threat of some of the fake news that are being spread, especially when it comes to nearly seditious or seditious na mga nire-review pa ho nila. So, again, we're trying to work with their community standards. In fact, when I talk to former Yusek Gio and Attorney Eves, part of our request is to educate and to train the CICC, the DICT, and our law enforcement. In fact, the DOJ, when I talked to the DOJ, they wanted to participate as well, to be trained in the community standards of these, and to be have a seminar on the community standards. But again, we're trying to communicate with them about the nuances. And correct ko yung sinasabi ng karamihan ho dito eh. Yung mga reps natin here in the Philippines actually want to help us when I talk about these local reps. But they are, ang kulang sa kanila ho are the laws that would enable them to fight, or not fight, but advocate these changes in their community standards in order to adapt to the Philippine setting, Mr. Chair.
So, Mr. Chair, just to follow up, so it sounds like if we sit down and coordinate with them and adopt like common community standards that is institutionalized in legislation, that would help. Do you agree?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I think we can ask our friends from the social media platforms that this is something that they would welcome. But I don't want to speak for them.
So that, Mr. Chair, just to flesh out further my thought, is that if they fail to enforce the community standard that actually mirrors their community standards, then they're accountable. But then that's why the other question that I delayed is, if they're accountable, how will they be made accountable if they don't have a authority to accept summons in the Philippines? That's parang inevitable po eh.
Tama.
Parang pupunta tayo doon.
Correct. Yung importante rin yun eh, 'di ba? Importante mai-set natin yung batas na talagang magsasaayos nito, lalo na pag nasa ibang bansa ka.